Hey y'all, it's your girl Erin, and today I'm going to be playing some more MTG Arena. I'm doing the color challenges. So if you are interested in playing MTG Arena, if you are curious what it's like, especially if you don't want to spend any money on it yet or at all, this is a free-to-play series I'm doing where I play through the game without spending any money on it, see how well I can do. And I've gone through white, blue, and black so far, the color challenges, and I'll be on to red next. Red is got a lot of haste creatures that can attack the turn you play them, burn spells, stuff like that, so it should be pretty fun. And yeah, when I've finished playing through the color challenges, I'll be making a deck and playing against some people. I don't know if that's a noise you can hear, but my cat's scratching the back of my chair here. Okay, and yeah, so hopefully you can see what it's like to play the game, and you can decide from there if you want to get involved or if you have, um, if you have wanted to play it but you aren't sure how or anything like that. This might be able to help you get some tips and stuff. So anyway, let's get into it. Sorry. As you can tell, I'm wearing the same clothes I've been wearing for a while. Because I recorded all of these on the same day. But I've been taking a break in between, and I've got a different cat with me almost each time. Rue is here now. But I'm playing Fire Urchin for 2 mana. I didn't have anything to play turn 1. There's Trample. Okay, hang on. Now Piglet wants to come through the door, and he won't shut up unless I let him back. Okay, so I've got both Piglet and Rue with me now. Hopefully they don't start fighting each other or whatever and making noise and stuff. But anyway, yeah, Fire Urchin. Okay, Fire Urchin has... Ooh, they are now messing with the cables, so I can't see. Okay, so Fire Urchin has Trample, which doesn't really help you a lot with one power, but it can get +1/+0 when I cast an instant sorcery, so in theory it could do trample damage, which will be enough to whatever toughness the opponent has. Any damage above that will go through to the opponent. But for now I'm just going to play a land. And yeah, I'm going to play a Goblin Gathering. I have a whole bunch of them and you get more goblins each time you play it. So yeah, it's pretty cool to play it. And then because I played a instant or sorcery, my Fire Urchin got +1, so I did 2 damage. I'm now playing against a 3/2 Barony Vampire, and so I could attack again. If I do and they block, I would die. If I was able to get my attack up, then I could kill the Barony Vampire back. I think I do want to do that because we are playing red and we are trying to kill the opponent as fast as we can, usually, especially with this kind of deck. So if they block the Fire Urchin, they die, which is fine. They still get damaged by the token. And I'm trying to have so many tokens now that it doesn't matter if they have bigger creatures, I just overwhelm them. So I'm going to play another Goblin Gathering to get even more tokens. And then I think I'm going to just attack. I'm not going to use my shock right. I'll let one of my tokens die because I have so many. Benefit of having so many. So if they attack, I can then shock it and kill it. Or I can just keep the shock or, you know, potentially like attacking their face. I'm gonna pass. Now I can double block it to kill it, or I can just let it damage me. I think I'm just gonna let it damage me, to be honest. Because at the moment what I'm trying to do is get as much damage in as I can. And that kind of is going to include a shock right at their face. Sorry, Liliana. And conveniently I drew a land, so now I have enough mana for this, which is 6 damage. But let's first attack with everyone. Obviously one of them can die to the blocker, which is huge. But they haven't even had a chance to attack with it yet, and they're already on 3. Means doing 6 damage will be enough to win. So with little 1/1s, you know, you can beat someone who has 7, 6. Got some artifacts going on with my green screen here, unfortunately. I don't have the best setup, as you can tell. Stuff is very sort of weird and stuff, but having my avatar small makes it less annoying, and also I did think it would be cool just to have myself on camera and just a bit more relatable. I didn't even look at what cards we got. Is those. Ember Hauler and Rakuzith War of Flames, which is a very powerful card that you probably wouldn't play in Constructed just because of how much mana it is. But if you can get it to attack, you know, or if it had haste, it would definitely see play a lot, because then there'd be no way it could die before it gets to do damage. But as is, there's a lot of ways to kill it before it can actually do all of that stuff it would do when it attacks. I'm going to play the Scorch Spitter, which does 1 damage to the player or attacker, player or planeswalker it's attacking when it attacks. Now, I could either just attack and let the Land of Elves block if they want to, or I could shock, or I could Conjurer's Pyrohelix. But knowing green, and with Vivian, who I was calling this, because I'm a noob, not because they are both green though, but don't know much about Vivian, to be honest. I've played a lot with Nissa cards before. Just my own lack of knowledge. I think Vivian might be newer to the game, but either way. Anyway, let's shock the Land of Elves so that I can attack without dying. Because the 1 damage extra it does every time it attacks is useful if it can attack more than once. You know? And also, now they have less ability to make mana. And then I'll save the Chandra's Pyrohelix, or if they play like 2 Land of Elves. Because it lets me split the damage up, so I can actually kill both of them. I could have played the Spitfire, but for now all I want to do is keep their mana ramp down and keep doing damage. And I drew a non-combat damage card, but I'll wait to use it until it can actually give the +3, which means not now. It means when it's my turn and my Chandra's Spitfire doesn't have Summoning Sickness, which looks like kind of a dubstep. If they play something really scary though, I might shock it, even though I'm not too so. But no. The Generous Stray, not that scary. It draws them a card, but it can't do that much on its own. It can stop my Scorch Spitter, but I could also just not attack with the Scorch Spitter for now. I think what I want to do is I'm gonna not attack to maximize an attack I might do later. Like, yeah, so because I've got 2 flyers, they could each get +3 from the shock next turn rather than only one of them that turn. So let's attack with just those. Don't want my Scorch Spitter to die unnecessarily. and I can shock them to the gate. +3 each. 8. And that gets them really low. So now, you know, even the 1, even if it dies, the 1 I'm doing from just attacking is going to help, but not worth dying and then they have a way of gaining life and then it's all in vain. You want it to be like a turn where you can actually finish them off that you would use that. So for example, now I wouldn't. I'll rather just attack, and also maybe I want to block because, you know, I can kill them without they don't have reach. Well, that gives their creatures trample, so blocking becomes less useful. If they didn't have trample, then I could block a whole 5, but as it is, all it's going through. But you know, they don't have any mana, so they can't make them bigger than they already are, and they're only doing 11. Puts me down to 3. But the next turn I attack, you know, it really doesn't make much difference. It might be slightly better to just block that, you know, and just be a little bit further from death. But yeah, this is actually cool because I get another one. But either way, cool beans. Bye, Vivian. So green can have huge creatures like that, which you can't actually shock away, and so you kind of want to try and kill them as quick as possible so that they can't get too many of them down. That makes it like kind of really dangerous to not block. And okay, those go to the collection and those go to the deck. Interesting. Piglet and also have a cat called Tigger. We got all 3 of them in his foster, and we wanted a name that would like indicate their siblingness, and so we thought if they all had a name from Winnie the Pooh, cute as heck, and also cool names, and they all go together. So it's Piglet, Roo, and Tigger based on their personality. And but as it is, okay, so we just had a Fire Urchin to play turn 2, and now we could shock and kill the that's actually a decent play, apart from the fact that this gets a counter every time I play a non-creature spell. So I'm kind of better off not doing it now. I can still attack though, because only does 2, no way to play anything. So now I can use the shock to give both the Fire Urchin an extra +1 and token. So I'm not blocking because with a token it can actually block and survive, you know, so... And so let's actually go in for the attack, and then we will play. Let's see. So they're not really stopping us. I'm gonna do that. I could have shocked that one, but no, okay. Even though they counter the shock and save themselves 2, I still get the +1 and the +1/+1 there. And then I can play that. And if they attack again, I will just let it through, because I can do more on the attack than attack. Correct. Block. These cards are too expensive, so it's automatically telling me to attack because I need to play. I will. It's okay if they, whatever, you know, they're dying, whatever they block. The only thing they can kill is that. Or if they double block, either one. But if they, either way, like 2 of these at least are surviving. So yeah, they double blocked that one. I can only kill 1 of them, which is fine. Still getting them down a bit low. And I got a shock, which is cool, because that'll pump them up again. So let's do an attack. And Well, it only pumps the 1 up. Die. They have another counter spell. It's unfortunate. But either way, you know. And it's like now that can't be countered, so if I get to 6 mana and they have 3 life, they're dead. That's how red looks. You shouldn't bump the mic stand, Rue. And I got a land, which is cool. And instead of playing the dragon, let's just go for the win. I could have attacked with both, and they would have had to have blocked the bigger one to survive. But they chose to, or I chose to not attack, end it straight away. So if you are someone who likes your games to be quick, you might want to play red, because it's like either you will beat them quickly or you'll get put in a position where you can't win quickly by them getting too much mana and ability to just overwhelm you with. Next we are playing against white. And I have a feeling this video is actually going to be shorter than the other ones, just as a way, well, that's just another way of seeing that, you know, red games go quicker, I guess. So we have Infuriate, which lets us make a creature get bigger. Those are normally called pump spells. If I do know of any of the colloquialisms I can give them to you. And so that's useful, especially if you have trample, because it's going to get the +1/+0 from the fact that it's an instant or sorcery, and then it's also giving +3 attack, which if, like, let's say you had 10 power and they had, you know, they blocked you with a 1/1, all 10 would be gone. You wouldn't do any damage to the player. But if you have trample, it takes their number, so they have a 1/1, and the difference there is 9, and you do 1 to the creature and 9 to the player, instead of none to the player and, you know, all of it to the creature. And so then you kind of make it that they would have to block with a bigger one to stop more damage, not just like their cheapest creature, but they actually have to think, do they want to take the full amount or not, which is really cool. So they could double block, and I would only be able to kill 1 unless I have a way of killing both. So let's see if they block. They do, with both. Now, I'd normally order it that way. Now, they can't play a counter spell or anything to stop this, but because I have trample, I'm only going to do it once, because the spell Gorgem benefits from these types of things too, and that's enough to survive plus kill both of theirs and do a little bit extra. And now I have, they call that a 2-for-1. This is a creature, and I don't have shocks or anything, so I'm not sure if but if you can, one of your cards, actually it wasn't really a 2-for-1 because I had to use an Infuriate, it was a 2-for-2, but 2 creatures for 1 of mine, but it did take 2 cards each. But if you only use 1 card, like if it was that big to start with without me using another card, then, you know, I'd be gaining card advantage. So let's see. I think I'm gonna play the Spellgorger Weird, and then I'll attack. And now, if they block that one, I can use its ability to sacrifice itself and just kill the angel with it. If they block that one, or actually either way, whichever one they block, I just use the Infuriate to make it bigger. Or otherwise, if they block that one, instead of letting it die, I make sure. Actually, that would make no sense to sacrifice it because it wouldn't, you know. But they chose to block this one anyways. And so that makes it bigger, so it doesn't die. Some extra damage. And I had the Spellgorger down already, so the fact that it was an instant non-creature spell meant the Spellgorger got a token, even though it wasn't. Okay, cool. So we have the Pack Mastiff left, Now our hand is empty. We have enough mana to do that, but there isn't really much point to it, because the only thing that can die here involves either double blocking, and without me, so yeah. So, you know, that's probably what makes the most sense. Now, if I want to keep my fire urchin alive, I could now use this ability to kill the angel, and because if they kill the urchin and I keep this, then I have lost the ability to tramply. So now provides. So sometimes it is useful to wait until they have their blockers lined up before you choose what you are specifically going to do in terms of like which cards you have in your hand and stuff. Whether to sacrifice something or not. You know? Cool. And we have another Packmaster. So these cards pump each other up. I'll fight against them. But for now, only one of them is attacking. Let's see. Okay, and then we activate that. And then we activate once of the mana we had. But it actually gave both of them a +1. So when I'm attacking with both, then it really doesn't matter which one I use the ability on. They both get the effect. And they played a passive for me. Well, you know, I could have just not done that. I could have been able to pump it at extra time instead of playing one. But yeah, I never said I was like a brilliant player. But, you know, I would have been able to kill them if I had done that. So, I mean, it's fine. There's a lot to think about. And, it's okay too. Especially when, you know, it's like the difference is so minor. You know, I'm dominating the game. When you are close to being the one losing, you tend to automatically think through things. I didn't pump it up because I was talking. So if you're new to the game, you might not want to record yourself while playing. Well, go ahead if you want to, but it also helpful. But either way, you know, it's like, the thing is like, it doesn't really matter if I make mistakes, I'm going to win anyway at this point. So that's why, you know, it's like, if I'm worried that I'm going to lose the game, you know, then I tend to make less mistakes. Actually focused, doing it perfectly good enough. So in general, you do want to try not to make mistakes. It's a bad habit to let yourself sort of get away with it for free, but don't beat yourself up either. Acknowledge you made a mistake. Hopefully you can remember not to do that same thing next time. And Magic, playing against the bots maybe not as much, but in general involves a whole lot of losing, a whole lot of learning and getting better. And so it's a nice way to practice your, you know, mental calculations and stuff, and to improve your skills and your decision making. And it's a lot of it's probability. Do they have this? What if they do that? So it's not like a hard science, you know, it's kind of more of an art. Although you can approach it from like a statistically scientific point of view, but you can also kind of pick it up through intuition as well. So let's see what the mulligan does, just for fun. Okay, gave us like a variety of... I'm gonna put this one back, it's way expensive. I was hoping we had like a 1-drop, you know, because I'm aggressive, so I wanted to have like a 1 now. But kind of backfired. But this will be a fun game either way. And this is the one against non-bots. So let's see what we can do. I'm gonna play the pack next. That's 4 damage to a creature and 2 to their control. Enough to kill the wee Dragonauts. Mana for it. But I think what I want to do... I want to play that so that I actually have that 2 damage at the ready in case I need it. For example, let's say that they block. You know, that 2 damage would be able to make that creature no longer alive. Yeah, they didn't block because they anticipated it. But I definitely think I want to deal 4 damage to it when I have the mana. Could be next turn. They are doing a Callous Dismissal. Turns it to me. Meow. So now we can do the Chandra's Outrage. That'll take care of the Dragonauts. Piglet is yeah, they didn't. So now, let's see. We have a few options. I think it's probably worth shocking that if they have a 1 mana spell, it could end badly though. So maybe what I do is I play this first, then I try to shock it. So if they try to save it, I have another way of also doing damage. It never does. And then let's attack and see if they block. I'm kind of okay with them blocking. And then we will end the turn. So proliferating is adding 1 more of whatever counter you use to everything that already has 1. So if they cast a non-creature spell now, the token will get another 1, and the spell itself is saying that it'll get 2 more. Let's see what happens. So the Flux channel is actually a little bit annoying. So I'm thinking of just killing it. But what I'll do is I'll block. No point using my mana. Cool. So now what I'm thinking of doing is playing the Erratic Cyclops. Because it has so much toughness that my opponents will need to really work hard to get through it. My life total's getting a bit low. Now, if they had blocked that, I would have been fine with it because something that is hexproof and lets you make mana of any color is much better than something that get an extra. Although having a bunch of these down actually is helpful. But moment, I'm more interested in not dying. And this can facilitate bigger cards which are more in danger. I mean, this gets plus X where X is the CMC. So if I get enough to play that, you know, so it'll be plus 6. And it has trample. So that's pretty awesome. Like, a pretty cool card. Yeah. But it's more mana than I have. So I'm thinking of now simply attacking with the other pack, with the packmaster. If they block, I can give it one more attack. You don't block. And nope, that's fine. Like, oops. So now, fortunately, I'm getting them close to 0 because this can do 6. So if I get one more land and they have 2 less life, won't become. It looks like they might also be able to kill me though. No. They had another shock. Wait, are they giving a double strike? Okay, I'm dead. I'm legit dead. Oh well. We will have to try that one again. So, like I was saying, magic involves a lot of defeats. So if you are someone who gets very sort of, you know, unhappy or upset when you lose, or just something you really don't like, then you might not really enjoy magic. Um, you know, it's like on average, you know, you're gonna lose half the time, and so if it is something that you really don't like, you know, why force yourself to be unhappy half the time you do something? But other people, you know, they don't actually. Yes, losing is kind of frustrating, especially, you know, if you expected to do better than you did. This time I'm not mulliganing. But, you know, if you see it as a challenge and something to improve on, then, you know, it's kind of what you signed up for, you know? It's not, I'm not saying you super enjoy it, but it's not a problem. Let's put down the pack list. You know, it's like, let's say you into like speedrunning, you know, it's like the chance of you being the fastest person is very low. But the challenge of trying to be the fastest person is quite fun. What I'm going to do is just play the Ember Hauler. If you play like an Ajani Pride Maid, it's pretty useful to be able to kill it. Yeah, so so I'm not the best magic player in the world for that build, but I'm good enough to be able to win at least half. Now, I think let's just kill the Inspired Orator before it can... Also gets rid of a blocker. And now I can play something like this. And in my next turn, play a land, and I'll be able to do that. I'm going to play the Red Horde Arcanist after combat. In combat though, I'm going to deal 2 damage to the Angel. And that allows my... oh, that's only if it's dealt to their face. Oh well. But it does allow me to attack without them having blockers. And I'm going to play the Red Horde Arcanist, who, when they attack, you can cast a target instant sorcery card with CMC cost less than or equal to their power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. And then it gets exiled instead of going back into the graveyard. So their power is 1, so That means a 1 mana spell free. If I can get their power up though, then it would allow me to go instance, so not the creature, but like that. Although I don't know of a way. So shock is a way, so that's useful because then that is the actual non-combat damage we were asking for. Which will give +3 to the Spitfire, and then when I attack, hopefully I can cast that again, and then that should give another +3. Let's attack. And I will also pump up the Masters. Probably haven't been doing as much as that. Lets me cast the shock again. They are creating blockers, but I do want to cast the shock. And actually I am going to cast it at their face again. Let's use that again. And then we were talking about pumping this up. Wait, did they... Oh, they haven't declared blockers yet, so let's just let them not know how big it's going to get first. They're blocking it anyways. Doesn't matter if I make it bigger. But because they're all flying, they can even block this. So in hindsight, maybe shocking one of the spirits would have been better. But doing the damage to the face is also useful, even if it didn't get through. I was going for the extra trigger, but doing it to the face is fine. I mean, I was going to be attacking, so I wanted to get at least one pump in before they cast the spell that... Am I remembering correctly? Anyway, whether I played it right or wrong is not as important as what is happening now. So, if I cast this on the Arcanist, it will go up to 4/5, meaning anything that is instant or sorcery up to 4 get a free cast, which means 2 damage to a Pride Maid or to their face. Now this is an interesting opportunity because this has got trample. Let's see. Ooh, so I could actually... That's probably even better because now... You know, like just 3, which would not have been... There's lots of ways to play it. I'm not a very good red player, to be honest. Like the color I probably play the least. But that trample is pretty sweet. So that'll be 5 trample plus 1, which will put them on 3. And, you know, I can always get this on the next turn when I attack again. They're giving it lifelink. They are trying to... So I will then just pump it up a bit to make sure it still does enough to... But they will gain life. Doesn't matter if you gain life when you're dead. And if I get another mana, I can play the Shivan Dragon. Nope. But this deals 4 damage to a creature and 2 to that creature's ruler. Don't need to. Maybe that lands in the hand or something. But there we go. That is it for the red color challenge. So I am going to be moving to the next one, which I will tell you what it is in a bit, because I can't remember. But if you are interested in my... Well, there we go. Green next. Oh, and Vivian. Get it right. So if you're interested in watching me play the green color challenge, that will be next. Otherwise, after that, I'll be building a deck. I'm also going to show you how to redeem some of the promo codes to get extra cards and packs and stuff if you're starting out. But that'll be after I finish the color challenges. So that'll be like 2 videos from now. So yeah, for now, that's it for red. And it actually ended up being about the same amount of time, but I did play an extra game because I lost that one. Anyway, I still do think red games are in general faster, assuming you win, you know. But it's like you could play a very long control game and still lose it, or you could play 5 aggro games, lose half of them, but you got the 2 wins in that. So it's that whole time isn't a complete loss. Anyway, enough on that. Feel free to subscribe if you want to get potential recommendations for future videos, and feel free to like and comment if you have any kind of feedback you want to give me. Otherwise, that'll be it for today, and I'll see you all around. Bye.